Hey students, these are the notes for the volume unit, which will also include lateral area and surface area. All right, so first of all, we've got some abbreviations that we need to go over, okay? It's working right. There we go. All right, so LA represents the lateral area. When we talk about lateral area, we're talking about the edges that are not the top and the bottom, okay? So the lateral area is the representation of the area without the bases. Lateral means side, so we want the sides of the figure, the area of the sides, but not the bases. And most of our solids are going to have top and a bottom, unless it's a pointed solid. Okay, SA, surface area. Okay, surface area, we're talking about the total surface area. So if we're looking at a figure, it is the area of all the sides. So area of all, we call these faces, by the way. The area of all faces. Okay, V stands for volume. And volume is the amount of space that something occupies. Okay, I like to say how much is inside the shape or the solid. Okay, if I were to pour liquid into a cylinder, that's talking about the volume. Okay, so area is the surface area, is how much you could cover it with bricks. Volume is how much you could put inside. All right, so we're going to have a capital B show up. The capital B stands for the area of the base. This one is an important one. I'm going to put a little star by it. That one is an important one because the way that we have you memorize a lot of these formulas is we say it's the area of the base times the height. It's the area of the base times the height. And if you know the area of the base, then that's what I'm talking about with the B. I'm not going to write the formula every single time. I'm going to put a capital B. If we're talking about a triangular base, I'm not going to put 1/2 base times height. Okay, I'm just going to put a capital B to represent the area of the base. So that's why I want you to know that. Now, we do have a little h and a big H. So a little h represents the height inside the base. Okay, it's the height inside the base. And then the capital H is the height of the solid. Okay. If I'm talking about a triangular prism and the formula is area of the base, which is a triangle, 1/2 base times height, but then I have to multiply it times the height, I want to distinguish between the height of the base and the height of the solid. Okay. And then P is going to stand for perimeter, which is useful to have because there's a neat little formula for the way that we can get the lateral area. There's a way that we can do that by using the perimeter. Instead of calculating all of the areas, we can use the perimeter, and it's really a neat way, and it is verified to work. Okay, so it is the perimeter of the base. Let's put that. Okay. Area formulas for bases that are needed in these shapes. So rectangle, area equals length times width. So when I tell you you're required to know the area of the base, these are what I'm talking about. Triangle, 1/2 base times height. Square, side squared. And then circle, pi r squared. Okay, So you are required to know those formulas already. All right, the ones that are going to be covered in this set of notes, we're going to talk about rectangular prism, triangular prism, and cube. So these are the ones that look boxy, okay? They look like boxes. All right, so first of all, we're going to be talking about the lateral area, the surface area, and the volume. And guys, it's a lot, okay? Volume is really, really, really important that you know it, but sometimes these show up as well. So if out of the 3 columns, I would say volume is the one that you need to focus on. And these, finding the area, as long as you know the formulas for the basic area, sometimes you can just get these without knowing the actual formula that I'm giving you. Okay, so for the rectangular prism, to find the lateral area, it is going to be the perimeter of the base times the height. Now you're like, whoa, wait a minute. The perimeter of the base times the height gives me the area of all of the sides. And lateral area, look at what I'm pointing at. 1, 2, the back is 3, the other side is 4. Lateral area is all of these added together. Yes, it does work out that if I were to do length times width, and then length times width, and length times width, and length times width, and added them all together, it will give me the same answer as if I find the perimeter of the base and just multiply it times the height. So the lateral area is the perimeter of the base times the height. I am going to put or areas of all 4 sides. Okay, so you can memorize this, but you can get this without doing any memorization. See, that's what I want you to understand. You can memorize a formula, or you can use logic and what geometry you know already. Okay, surface area is the lateral area plus 2 times the area of the base. Now that's kind of hard for you to comprehend with those new letters, okay? So this is where you can memorize a formula, or you can just logically figure it out. Surface area, I need to find 1, 2 on the bottom, and then 3, 4, 5, 6 areas and add them all together. So it's also the areas of all 6 sides. Okay, so that's why I was telling you the volume you have to memorize, but these 2 you can logically figure out by just the information given to you now that you know what lateral area is and now that you know what surface area is. Okay, so the volume formula is, and this formula is going to be the same as we go throughout these problems. It is the area of the base times the height. Area of the base times the height. Now, regardless of whether I have a little h over here, remember what my letters stand for. H, height, is the height of the solid. So basically, volume is how much is filled in here. So if I find the area of the base, and then I keep stacking those bases on top of each other, that becomes the height. So it's the area of the base times the height. Well, what is the area of the base? It's a rectangle. So that is going to be length times width, and then the area of the height, I'm going to put a little h. Okay, length times width times height. I like area of the base times the height. I want you to verbally say that. Area of the base times the height. Area of the base times the height, because you know these formulas. All you have to do is multiply it times the height. Okay, so let's do these problems. All right, if I want to get the lateral area, so I can use this formula. I promise you, if you stop the video and I do it this way and you do it this way, we're going to get the same answer. So I've got a 6 and a 4. That means I have another 6 and another 4. So that means my perimeter is 20. Okay, my perimeter is 20. My height is 10. So to get the lateral area, it's going to be the perimeter times the height, and that's going to be 200. I don't have any units. You don't have to worry about the units. If there's units in the picture, I'll put units in the picture. Okay. All right, so I promise you, if you go length times width, 4 times 10, length times width, 6 times 4, length times width, 6 times 10, and you, no, not 6 times 4, sorry. We're using only the lateral area. So 10 times 4, 10 times 4, 10 times 6, 10 times 6. And you figure that out. You're going to get the same answer, but you're doing a lot more work. Okay? All right. Surface area. We're going to take our lateral area that we've already found, and we're going to add 2 times the area of the base. Well, my base is a rectangle. Area is 6 times 4, which is 24. So the surface area is going to be 248. All right. Now, this would be units squared. Units squared. Even though I said don't use it, I want you to know that area is squared, volume is cubed. Okay. All right. So volume is the area of the base. Area of the base is a rectangle, 6 times 4, which is 24, times the height. Okay, so the volume of this rectangular prism is 240 units cubed. Okay. All right, that's what we're doing with a rectangular prism. These two you can logically get by using the length times width, length times width, length times width everywhere 6 times, okay, or 4 times. Volume, you need to memorize area of the base times the height. Okay, triangular prism, you need to know that the triangle is the base. Okay, triangle is the base. So it doesn't matter what it is sitting on. Okay, I've got this triangular prism laying on its side. If it's standing up, the base is the triangle. Okay, triangular prism. All right, so the lateral area, guess what? It's going to be the same. Okay, it is the perimeter of the base times the height, or it is the area of the 3 sides. So remember, this is going to have this side. It's laying on its side, this one, the bottom one, and the one that's standing up. So that would be the areas of all 3 sides. You have to know that the triangle is the base. Okay, surface area is the lateral area plus 2 times the area of the bases. Same formula. Or it's the area of all, there's only 5, okay, there's only 5 sides. Areas of all 5 sides. Okay, and then the volume, well, guess what? Area of the base times the height. Okay, it is the area of the base times the height. Okay, so I want you to look at this. In the base, okay, a triangle has a base and a height, and they're perpendicular to each other. Okay, base and a height. And then the triangular prism has another height. Remember, it's got to stand up on that triangle. Okay, so that's why you have to understand the difference between the little h and the big H. Okay, so if I were to think about this with the formulas, you know, I'm going to go back up here and change this to a capital H just to keep us straight. Okay, if I'm looking at the formula with the actual formulas, the area of the base is a triangle. Okay, that's the area of the base, but then it's times the height. Okay, so what have you noticed so far? Same formula, same formula, same formula. It's really not that different. Okay, area of the base times the height for the volume. Lateral area plus 2 times the bases area for the surface area, and then the perimeter times the height. So far, we're being very consistent. Okay, let's do this problem. So the lateral area is the perimeter. Okay, so the perimeter of the base. All right, so hold on just a second. All right, so hopefully our Pythagorean triples will pop in. You would have to use the Pythagorean theorem to get this side to get the perimeter. But hopefully the people who make up all this math is going to be really nice to you and give you really nice numbers. Okay, this is a 6, 8, 10 triangle. So I know this side is 10. So the perimeter, 18, 24. Okay, so the perimeter is 24. And then the height, now you got to be careful. It's the height of the whole thing. Okay. Sorry about that. It is the height of the whole figure. I'm going to go ahead and change that just to make that stand out. It's the height of the whole figure because now that we've got these two H's in the problem, that's my fault. So it is the height of the whole figure, which is the 9. Okay. So 24 times 9 is 216 units squared. Okay, so then we have our lateral area. So our surface area is the lateral area plus 2 times the area of the bases. Well, let's do that calculation. Area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. Okay, half of 8 is 4. 4 times 6 is 24. Okay, no relationship. All right, no relationship that the perimeter was 24 and the area was 24. Okay, that's just coincidence. All right, so 216 plus 48 gives us 264. Units squared. All right, the volume is the area of the base times the height of the whole thing. And we've got the area of the base right here. So the area of the base was 24. The height was 9. What you think of it, I am stacking, I've got a triangle here, and we're going to stack it 9 centimeters high. That means we're taking the area of that one triangle and stacking it, and that means we're multiplying it by 9. Area of the base times the height. So 24 times 9 is 216. And that is units cubed. No relationship here and here because this is area and this is volume. This is on the outside, this is on the inside. Okay. All right, flip over to cube, we'll be done. All right, so for a cube, guess what? It's going to be the same formulas. So lateral area is the perimeter times the height, or areas of all 4 faces, sides. I like faces. Okay, not the top and bottom. Surface area is going to be the lateral area plus 2 times the area of the base. Volume, now it is the area of the base times the height. But if you think about a cube, it's the same thing as a rectangle, length times width times height. It's just that they're all the same. So in a cube, everywhere we've got 5s. Okay, there are 5s everywhere. So all the edges are, all the pieces are all the same. Okay, so if I've got 6, the perimeter of the base is going to be 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. That's 24. And then the height is also 6. Okay, so 24 times 6, which is 144. Okay. Oh, surface area. Let's do this. There are 6 bases. Volume. I'm going to put length times width times height. It doesn't matter, length times width times height. But really, it's side times side times side. okay, because they're all the same, okay, or just S cubed. That's an S, not a 5. All right, surface area is my lateral area plus 2 times the area of the bases. So my base is 6, area is 6 times 6, which is 36. All right, 144 plus 2 times 36 is 216. And then volume is area of the base, which is 36, times the height, which is 6, which is again 216. 216 units cubed. And again, no relationship, it just happens. All right, so you should be good to go for worksheet number 67. The way the problems are set up, this is what I want you to do. You are going to use notebook paper for everything. Guys, I do not want to see work crammed in on these worksheets, okay? Unless I told you you are doing all the problems, whether they're circled or not. I want you to get the practice because you need to be quick at it. So you are using worksheet, unless I tell you different in class, okay? You are using notebook paper and you are labeling worksheet 67, page 1, worksheet 67, page 2, worksheet 67, page 3, worksheet 67, page 4. And like this one, you're doing the circled numbers only, but these others, you are getting the practice of doing all of these unless I tell you differently, which I might because that's a lot of work. So for now, jump in and just start doing them and getting some practice with them. Okay, thank you, students.